Here's the package that the JB4 came in. We'll start unboxing it now. It looks like you got a package inside of a package. And here she is, the JB4. From Burger. Let's see what we got. It's a nice package. Now I did order the Bluetooth module with this guy, which we'll have to take it apart and get this installed. But so what all was inside my box was, you have the brains of the controller here, the OBD2 connector, cool little keychain, some stickers, the Bluetooth adapter that I ordered extra, and that's pretty much it. So now we'll take this thing apart and start mounting the Bluetooth adapter. So the first thing is just to take the Allen wrench out of the package with the Bluetooth adapter, and we're just going to take these 4 screws off on the cover. Okay, now that the cover's off, it's all pretty easy. You just take this serial connector that they sent. It's only got the 4 pins in it, or DB9, and you connect it up, and you take the 2 Phillips screws that they sent, and you screw it in. So we're going to do that now. Now, one little note before I connect this: it is better to go ahead and drop the Phillips screws in to the serial connector before seating it. It just makes it a little bit easier. Now you will need to lift the board out. You're actually screwing down. And one other note too, and this is typical, this isn't a Burger issue. Worked on computers a lot. The screws that go into this serial connector, they're kind of finicky and hard to get lined up just right, and you'll need to work one side a little, then the other side. Don't screw one side all the way down and then start the other, but a little patience, you'll get the screws in, they'll hold. Okay, I got the Bluetooth adapter installed now. Now, one of the things I guess you want to take note of, and Burger stresses this in their videos, if something isn't lining up, don't force it. And I will have to admit, getting the board and everything lined up just right took a little tweaking, a couple attempts, but everything is sealed up nice now. No gaps, and it's ready to install. But again, Burger stresses it, and I did see it myself firsthand. They've said they've seen some boards cracked, and I think some chips pinched because people try to force it but don't line up. Spend a few seconds, get everything lined up just right, and it'll go together. Now I just want to show you, now I've got this out on the bench, getting ready to install it in the vehicle. And one thing that you may want, may not, you don't have to, is this Y adapter, so that you can still have a spare port, OBD2 port. I'm not really sure that I'm going to need it, because right now nothing really else works as far as tuners on the 2025. But I just want to show you guys how it works. You plug this into the OBD2 port, and then we'll plug the JB4 in here, and then we'll still have a spare port if we want it. All right, today we're going to I'm going to be installing the JB4 Tuner by Burger Motorsports onto my 2025 Ram 1500 Limited. So far, the only thing that's been done to the vehicle is the K&N Cold Air Intake, and the JB4 will be the second mod actually to the engine done because we're just kind of limited now. All right, now that we got the hood popped, just want to cover a couple of things. There's the K&N Cold Air Intake I talked about that was installed last week. Now, JB4 in their instruction videos and their instructions, they don't mention disconnecting the battery, but so far the new Stellantis High system that's on the 2025s is so finicky, and even K&N putting on the Cold Air Intake recommended disconnecting the battery, just because we're going to be disconnecting some plugs and sensors. So just to play it safe, I will be disconnecting both batteries. And again, the 2025s, here you have your primary battery, and I'll just be removing the negative terminal here, and then here's your little lawnmower secondary battery, and you also have to remove the ground off of that. And once you get them both off, then you're ready to go. And I'm also going to remove the intake cover. Again, you don't have to, and I'm talking about this piece here, you don't have to, but I think it's going to give me some extra room to move around and hopefully make it a little bit easier. Alright, both batteries are disconnected now, and it's just a 10mm socket to get them loose. And I always just push it back out of the way to get it to where it won't, even if I bump something, it won't touch the terminal. And the same on the backup battery. You have to take this nut completely off. I always make sure to put the nut back on, and I just push the little terminal back out of the way again. Try to get it to where when I'm moving and shaking, it doesn't accidentally fall back and cause a connection. So now let's get this intake cover removed. Okay, the intake cover, I was just going to show you, it's just one, let's see if we can get back in there, 13mm nut that you take off, and then the whole cover will just slide off. Here's what that nut looks like removed. And now you just start, pull up and pull forward, and she comes right off. And now, again, I think it's just going to make it easier for me to move around and get things mounted in there. On all of these connectors, basically you just push the retaining tab out, and then on the back side you'll have to lift up on this little piece of plastic to get it loose. And I just use my little snap-on pick tool to help me with that. So here are the pre-throttle map wires with the JB4. That's what they look like. And the good thing about the JB4 is each of them have a unique set of colors, so you can't get them mixed up. So we're going to get the pre-throttle map sensor plugged in now. Okay, the throttle body map sensor was hard to find, and I ended up removing the air box to make it easier to get to, but it's actually way down here. It's this one right here, and I've already got the clips loose, so we'll pull it out, and we'll get the JB4. I guess what was confusing to me, here's the throttle body, and I was trying, at first I thought it was this connector, but that's a 6-pin connector. But anyway, we finally found it, so now we'll get it connected. The next sensor we're going to connect is the manifold sensor, and it uses the brown and green connector. And the manifold sensor, I've already got it unclipped, but that is it right. Trying to get the camera steady. Right there. Let's see if I can keep the camera at a good angle. I'll pull it out. So it's this one. Alright, now that we got the manifold map wires connected, as you can see it there, see the green and brown. We'll do the last and the easiest, the air intake map sensor, which is right there. We're going to pull it loose and get everything connected. Okay, I've got everything laced up, tied up, nice and neat, and we're ready to start putting the air box and stuff back together. Now, I wasn't sure how I wanted to put the actual JB4 module. There's a couple different things I looked at, but what I ended up doing was taking some 3M auto adhesive and putting on the back and just sticking it to this reservoir. I did the same for the Bluetooth adapter. I just stuck it with a piece of 3M to the box itself, and I made sure to put it to where the screws were out, so if we needed to get the cover off of the JB4 box, we can still get the cover off. And just to recap, so you got your pre-throttle map and sensor connections down there. You got your manifold sensor and connection right there. And then you have your air intake map and sensor right there. It's all tied in. And what I did for the OBD2 cable that runs up into the driver's compartment is I just ran that wire through this little plastic channel that runs the entire length. It's kind of like it is a cable tray for the engine compartment. That way it kept it up and away from all the hot parts, and it shouldn't be any problems. So again, everything's all tied in, laced in, and hopefully nothing will move. And we'll start putting it back together now. Okay, everything's back together now. The batteries are reconnected, and I think we're ready to fire this thing up and see what happens. I think the JB4 actually looks good, tucked in right there behind the K&N. So the difficulty wasn't too high. The hardest part is finding all the sensors, but hopefully if you guys are looking at this video, it'll make it a lot easier for you to find. Alright, now it's time to cross our fingers and hope it starts and we don't get any codes. Now my check engine light comes on. I'm not too worried about it because so far with my limited, and I'm going to say mine, pretty much every time I disconnect the battery, the check engine light will come on and it throws a code, lost communication with bus. But hey, look, so far so good. No check engine lights. So now I'm going to try to connect the app and we'll see how that goes. This is a bullet mount that I was trying out. I'm not really sure if I like it. It's cool and everything, the way it fits in, and there's an extra mount for like an iPad or another phone. I just don't like the bulkiness of it. I think I may go go back to something more simple. Okay, let's hit connect on the JB4 app, and hopefully everything works. Looks like there's an update. Appears that everything's working. I'm just gonna leave it on map 1 for now. Now, I don't have access to a dyno, so unfortunately I won't be able to do the before and after results for everybody. Hopefully some of the others will get that done. And I do have a Dragy ordered. I was going to get the one from Burger, but I noticed on Dragy's website there's a new version coming out in January, and they have a really good deal on it right now. So I've got the new version of the Dragy ordered, and hopefully it'll come in sometime in January, and we'll be able to get some 0 to 60 times on the different maps and see what kind of a difference it makes. Well, thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully it helps if you go to install yours, or helps you to decide if you want to install one.